Right, so we are speaking to Colonel retired Eutychus Waithaka, who is the Kenya Association of Air Operators Executive Secretary. So Eutychus, maybe we can start off by taking a look at the first day. How was day one for domestic air carriers? Is it back to business?
Thank you very much for having me today. Yes, it's quite exciting for us as air operators to take off the skies once again after a very long and we are all excited about it. Quite a lot of movement has taken off today domestically, and we hope things will continue that.
So is it back to business?
It's not quite back to business, but it is a startup. Business will obviously, there is quite a bit reluctance about people wanting to fly because of they don't know the risks of COVID-19. But we are trying to have people get into confidence and ensure that they now take again off to the air again. Kenyans are very fond of flying. Kisumu, Mombasa, as you know. And we are very ready to take them there as soon as the bookings are up and going up.
Said, does the Kenya Association of Air Operators have an estimate of how much local air carriers have lost since the cessation of movement directive was first effected?
We are actually at one of the worst hit aviation industry, as you can imagine, not only locally. Because we are capital heavy as far as equipment is concerned. And we have actually lost a lot of revenue because a lot of cancellations were made coming from the US and back to the country. It is estimated worldwide that it was about $54 billion. And for Kenyans, it's no less than 10 billion.
And are there any air carriers that have sunk into insolvency? If so, by how many?
Yeah, we try to encourage as much as possible people to go on. They had closed down for the time being, but we haven't seen anybody filing for, insolvency or anything like that. We are encouraging them. We are trying to get to the government to ensure that they also consider the aviation industry on what they call the stimulus, economic stimulus package, so that we can be able to lift off and then recover and then continue as it were. It's not easy.
Is there a likelihood of airfares going up in view of the disruption occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic?
We will try to make sure that we don't push our fares up. But of course, it will depend on day-to-day basis on how the industry will go and the support that we will get. We have been asking about consideration of for some taxes and charges, as it were, for instance, aircraft parking charges and some things like IDF and other taxes, VAT. And we hope the government will listen to us and allow us to do that so that we can recover and also make the air travel affordable.
And what are the COVID-19 protocols that travelers can expect from air carriers going forward?
All the air travelers need not fear. Remember, the aviation industry is based on safety, and safety also includes health safety, as it were. What we have done is we have worked together with the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Transport and others, tourism, protocols that will confidently make sure that we avoid any spread of the COVID-19. Those protocols are in order, they have been enhanced, and they ideally are just about hygiene. And we have actually made sure that all our members have got their SOPs inclusive of hygiene issues.
So what's the outlook for the local aviation industry?
At the moment, it looks grim, but I'm sure with the effort that is being made between the government and ourselves, the industry itself, we work very, very closely with, for instance, the Civil Aviation Authority to ensure that we make things simple and affordable. And with that, although it looks grim now, I'm sure we are going to be able to take off quietly, but it is not going to be easy. It's going to take about 2 to 3 years to get back to where we were before COVID-19.
All right, Eutychus, you've just mentioned that you are working with the government. So just to be specific, are there interventions that the Kenya Association of Air Operators is seeking from the government to help them keep local air operators afloat?
Yes, tax waivers, the government guarantees, as it were, and also to look at how we can also look at the local markets, finance markets, and also international offshore finance markets. Also, at the same time, we are actually, and I had mentioned this earlier, that we also need the government to think about the package that they have given, the economic stimulus package that is being given to some industry players, also for the aviation industry to get a fair share of that. The government has set aside, as you're aware, 57 billion Kenya shillings for that kind of thing. And we are working with the government to see that the aviation industry is also considered in that package.
57 billion has been set aside for?
57 billion, the economic package, stimulus package that the government has set aside. If you remember, His Excellency the President mentioning that. It's mainly going to support the tourism industry and its associates. And we also are players in the tourism industry, so we expect to get a fair share of that also.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Colonel Retired Eutychus Waithaka, who is the Executive Secretary of the Kenya Association of Air Operators. Thank you. We do appreciate your time.